Here's a simple example of how you can use these data visualization features. Even this relatively short report, you can glean a lot of information about the relationship between the product categories and between the years just by scanning any of the three rightmost columns. These relatively new data visualization features in reporting services provide a nice alternative to the charts and gauges that reporting services has long had. So let's start talking about the first of these features, which is data bars. A data bar is a simple chart that usually displays a single value. A data bar taken by itself in a single row doesn't convey much more than a single number does. But where they come alive is when you use them in a table or matrix, so that you can view all the bars for all rows together, finding the trends, relationships, and outliers in a series of values. Data bars can be much more effective than just a column of numbers alone. Strictly speaking, data bars can display multiple values, but they're most effective displaying only one. They share the category, series, and value elements with charts, but don't have a legend, access lines, or labels. And there are several kinds of data bars for horizontal and vertical bars, as you can see here. The stack type of data bars can display multiple values to show category groupings, but those don't seem to be quite as useful as single values for conveying the meaning of data. A data bar is a data region nested within a tablix and gets its data from the container's data set. You can convert a data bar, which is really just a type of chart, to a full chart by right-clicking it and selecting Convert to Full Chart from the pop-up menu. The reverse, converting a full chart to a data bar, is a bit more involved, but possible if you delete all the chart elements that aren't in a data bar. What I'm going to do here is add a data bar to an existing report that groups sales amounts by product category and year. The report contains a category sales data set that uses a query to return about 7,800 rows from the Fact Resellers Sales table in AdventureWorks DW 2012 database. Okay, so this is a report design as it currently exists. I'll go ahead and preview it. And there you can see that it's categorized by the product category, and then within each category by year, and then the sales amount for that category and a particular year. Okay, so we're going to improve that report with some visual elements. So this is the table tablix. So I've selected the last column there, and I'm going to right-click that and insert a column inside the group to the right. So now we have a new column within this matrix. And notice that it's still within this column group because I want to include the data bar as part of the details section of the report. Okay, so there's the new cell. So I've selected that, and I'll come over here to the toolbox and select a data bar and drag it over into that cell. And that opens up the Select Data Bar Type dialog box. So I'm going to keep the default selection there, the data bar, and click on OK. And now I get a default rendering of what the data bar is going to look like. Next, I'll click on the data bar to open up this chart data table. And this is how I define what data is going to be displayed within the data bar. And I'll click on the green plus there, and that displays all of the available fields, and I want to display the sales amount. And as usual, the default aggregation is sum. All right, that's all I need to do, so I'll preview the report. And now as you can see, it's very easy to see that bikes have by far the most sales of all the categories. To get that kind of information, you really have to carefully scan all those numbers. Now those are fairly dramatic differences there, but sometimes the differences aren't as dramatic. But this really points out that bikes are definitely AdventureWorks' biggest sales source. And you can also see that the sales of bikes grew from 2005 to 2007, and then there was a drop-off in 2008. And you can see the same kind of trend for clothing, although it's quite subtle there, and for components. Now, one problem here is that accessories have such small sales compared to the other categories, so you really can't see any kind of trends there. But maybe because accessories is such a minor part of AdventureWorks sales, maybe that just isn't very important. You're not really going to be looking at that for how we can grow sales or what happened here and so forth. At any rate, you can use other reporting services features in order to explore those particular trends in more detail.